This is a big question that happens very often with my clients, with anybody that I cross with the online space or even in person. They keep asking me is, do I need to restrict the foods that I love to actually lose weight? Especially for those that are struggling with emotional eating and binge eating, this is a big question. And if this is something that you are curious about, stay tuned. I'm going to be sharing with you today if this is real, if this is not real, and maybe what to do instead. My name is Dina Marabi. I am a body balance coach. And for the past 20 years, I've been helping women and men banish the binge and the bloat to actually create massive energy in their day, to go book that dream vacation, to feel great in their clothes, to update their wardrobe, all without dieting or restriction. So already with that, you'll understand a little bit where my philosophy comes from with my expertise that is all research-based, because my aim is to create the same success for you. So let's talk about this. When we talk very often about restricting certain foods, right? We are talking about how can I actually have control over certain foods that maybe you might be losing control with, emotional eating, binge eating, and maybe with every diet that you've done, you've actually taken these foods out of your day, you've maybe seen results. But then what happens is that it becomes a big struggle. You are not able to maintain the diet because, let's be honest, 97.5% of people actually get off track with their diet, and that is the dieting's fault. It's not your fault. And what happens with that is as soon as we get off track and we bring in those foods that you were restricting, you feel like as soon as you open up that vault, you are not able to close that vault. And then that whole guilt comes in, right? Saying, oh my God, why did I do this? I should never have these foods. And you start going down that downward spiral of like getting totally off track, overeating everything you're not allowed to eat when you were dieting, and then saying, okay, maybe on Monday, maybe next week, maybe next month, I will get back on track. This is the thing I really want you to take away from this training, okay? Again, do you need to restrict certain foods to lose weight? Actually, if you keep restricting foods, you will gain weight, and that is inevitable. Because when you keep restricting foods, you're giving them all that power that as soon as you get off track, you won't eat one portion of the cookie or one portion of the pie or one piece of pizza. You'll be eating everything and everything over and over when you're getting off track. The key to actually losing weight in the terms of releasing the weight, feeling great with your body. If you've gained weight the past few years and you feel it's related maybe to the metabolism, but mostly because of the emotional eating, the binge eating, and you feel like food is your friend, your coping mechanism, it is by working with those foods that will help you lose the weight, and it's not by restricting those foods. Because the more that you restrict, the more they are tempting. Because you are not overeating carrots and apples and maybe meat and chicken, all those like diet foods. You're not overeating on those. You're losing track with those forbidden foods. But it doesn't have to be that way because it's been proven. Dieting, 97.5% of people actually get off track within 3 weeks, and 50% of people that are dieting actually develop emotional eating and binge eating. So if you end up looking back and asking yourself, why did I even start that diet? Maybe 10 years ago you're at a weight, you're like, oh, I wish I could go back just to that weight and not get into the diet. It's because the dieting brought in the restriction, and the restriction brought the overeating, and then you get in that whole emotional eating roller coaster yo-yo dieting. So this is real. This is the truth. I am here to share with you something that's going to help you believe that you can actually create that change. But the first belief that we need to kind of change, to rewire and to rewrite, is to understand it's by working with those foods that we will be able to lose weight permanently and successfully. Because if you are able to have these foods in your cupboards and not even be tempted by emotional eating and binge eating, imagine how amazing your life is going to be if you're going to go to an event, a party, and food just becomes food. And this movement, this change of actually working with your food, working with your body, working with your lifestyle, is actually what's going to help you create that amazing success. Because no, you do not have to let go of your favorite foods to actually lose the weight. I was a binge eater and I have all those foods I used to binge eat there and I'm not even tempted by having them. All my clients actually have those foods in their cupboards and they're not even tempted by having them. I have clients within the first month of working together, they end up losing 5 pounds, 10 pounds, and this is not a forced weight gain. This is all about understanding what actually works for their body to actually work with those foods, and that's when you release weight once and for all. So if this is something that is interesting to you, there's 2 things I'm going to welcome you to do today. This is something that I would recommend you to save the video. If ever you feel like you're getting off track and you need the reminder, just save the video, send it to yourself by messenger like that, you have it in your box. The next thing is understanding what is your next step, okay? Because I don't want you to leave this training without a next step. And there's going to be 2 sub-levels, subdomains of that next step that I'm going to recommend for you. If you've been following me for a while, or maybe this is something that you're new, I really want you to check the link I'm going to be posting right below. For the past 20 years, I've been perfecting my system, and this gave birth to a body balance method. And now for a limited time, you can actually get the beginning process at 50% off. It's less than $100 to actually help you get those 4 pillars to create that change in your body and actually banish the binge and banish the bloat. And people have been seeing results in less than 7 days without dieting. So I'm giving you that as an amazing gift right below at 50% off. If you want something a little bit more specific, more personalized, if you really want to have that expert coach by your side 7 days a week through private coaching, and you get access to all my online coaching training, just send me a message, or I'm going to also post a link right below to schedule a call with me. Because if we can actually create that change, if you leave this training with just this training, you're going to be having 10% forward. If you get the Body Balance Method Masterclass, which I'm linking right below, you're going to be having a 50% success of going forward. But the thing is, if we end up working one-on-one, for people that are really struggling with binge eating, you're going to have a 150% success rate. Why? Because we're going to tackle everything that's been actually blocking you from making a change. So you have many different decisions, but I strongly recommend get the Body Balance Masterclass. Check the link right below. And if you do join it, you get access as well to a private Facebook group if you have any questions to ask for me. And if you want more private coaching, again, the link is right below to schedule a free call together. Because remember, it is by working with those foods that you'll actually reach food freedom, that you'll become a normal eater. It's not by restricting them. Just look back at your history, look at the dieting, look at your habits, and trust me, this is not your fault. This is the dieting industry's fault. And I am here to actually clean up, reboot, rebuild, and all you need to do is check the 2 links right below, and I'll see you in the next training.